Hello YouTube, this is VidHead85, and tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about two words that Republicans do not want you to say or do. The first one is one that we've seen a lot of legislation over, and that is vagina. Say it with me now, vagina. Simply, there have been a lot of bills placed in many of the Republican-led legislatures that will limit the time that a woman can have an abortion, even if it's medically necessary or in case of rape or incest. Many times, those simply seek to punish the women for events that they had no control over. That is something that is reprehensible. I cannot find any justification for that. Next thing is they also use junk science and say that a child, an unborn child, can feel pain at this early in the pregnancy. And I don't know, and most times that is not accurate. The problem, the main thing that comes from is it's a way into public health. It is a way through women's health and through a morally divisive issue that they can come in and try to not only do away with women's health services, but also public health, like giving out condoms to high school and college students, so that they can basically say that, hey, this is our moral position on this, and we don't have to say much of anything on that. We don't have to defend it because this is a moral issue. The fact is, it's not only a moral issue, but it is a legal one, and it is subject to constitutional scrutiny. So therefore, what they're doing is simply, I believe it's animus, by using a very that is their inroad to dismantling public health. It's not just about women's health services. It is also about low-cost health care, and their tirade against that. But abortion is that way that they get into it. The main reason I'm opposed to so many of these laws is because of the fact that it makes no exceptions for things that may happen, even though it is rare in many cases, from what I've read. So I oppose especially the vaginal probe before the procedures to take place, but also ultrasounds where where it is written in the law that they have to describe what the baby is doing to the mother, and they can face penalties if they do not. That is something that taxes the mother, and that is really, it's a tough decision already, and they're making it even tougher and even more likely that not only will she get up, but also after she's gotten up off that operating table and said, I don't want to do this anymore, what are those legislators going to do for that child now? It seems that they only care for that child as long as that child resides in the womb. But when they get out when they're born, they don't want anything for them. And I feel that is not, quote, fighting for life. If you're going to fight for life, I believe that you will fight also for health care. Now, the second word that Republican legislators don't want you to know: vote. Simply, voter ID laws, many of them have become very restrictive. Even though many people say that voter fraud happens, I don't really see many prosecutions of it. In Wisconsin, I believe there was only 6 within the last 20 years. But most of those people who are pushing for these voter ID laws are, in fact, the ones who are profiting off of, quote, voter fraud, or just mainly little sometimes the so-called voter fraud is in fact administrative errors that can be easily remedied. In fact, the voter ID law did not stop an Indiana official from registering at 2 different places to vote. Not only that, but there was a James O'Keefe little documentary that said that voter fraud. This is a widespread voter fraud. This is why voter ID must happen. Well, when they pass a voter ID law in Wisconsin, they had to ask for it, and I believe there was another state where some individuals had tried to ask for an ID, and they were told that they should pay for it because it was too much paperwork to get the free one. We should make it easier to vote, as far as making sure that those are the right people, and even checking up on that, auditing, and making sure that those who are registered to vote are voting. But then again, it's kind of I think it's a mixed bag, because the one thing I want to do is make sure that also the voter's privacy is in fact there, but also I think that the main question should be, hello, did you vote this year? Yes. Okay. Are you registered to vote? Yes. Did you vote? When was the last time you voted? Was it this year? In terms of years, when was the last time you voted? I think that would be a good way to make sure that the voter logs are updated, and if there are any people who have passed away or moved away or something, you can strike that off and move on. So simply, I believe there are alternate ways to verify someone's identity. I think that they should have to show ID when they register only, and then have maybe that card. Now, the voter registration card, when they go to vote, I would be more supportive of that, of just the voter registration card as opposed to a voter ID, because I just don't like the way that they've been implemented, even though people say that it would be useful in catching, quote, voter fraud, but in-person voter fraud is actually rare. So, what are your thoughts on the assault on women's rights, and the fact that all these Republican legislators and some Democratic legislators with them are trying to, it's funny how they assert religious freedom, but what they're really doing is religious tyranny. And there was a Facebook post that said, isn't it funny that a place founded on religious freedom is now using using religion to oppress? And what about these voter ID laws? What are your thoughts on it? Especially the one in Pennsylvania recently that's been challenged, and I believe the one in Wisconsin was struck down prior to the recall vote. So let me know how you feel, what you think about that. Rate, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.